Hey everyone, it's Adriana and welcome back to another recap video. This is week 4 systems programming and this is the final week of systems programming. So let's get started. Lecture 1 covered a lot of different things, mainly the rule of 3, which is consistent to having 3 main things: a destructor, a copy constructor, and a assignment operator. And that was important to know because for the Lab 8 was all about having to use the rule of 3. And then they went over a lot of concepts that were covered in PG2, like inheritance, overriding functions, virtual functions. They went a little bit more on upcasting, downcasting, dynamic casts. A new concept that I hadn't heard of was the difference between deep copy versus shallow copy, and mem copy and all that. And then for the second and final lecture of this class, went all over abstract base classes, and that was basically it. A little bit more on the same stuff, inheritance and overriding functions and all that. And then for the labs 8 and 9, Lab 8 was on the rule of 3. Lab 9 was more practice on pointers part 2. I will do a separate video going a little bit more in depth on both of the labs, but both labs are done for this week. The due dates: one lab had to be turned in by Friday, and then the other lab had to be turned in no later than Saturday, and with the final exam also being due on Saturday. Now for the final exam in total 55 questions. Wasn't too bad. I ended up getting an 85, and a lot of the concepts that were gone over was all the different PowerPoints for each of the lectures. I noticed a lot of them concepts, and there were some of the same questions that I do remember from the midterm were also on the final exam, and that's why you probably should look over the midterm, because you'll notice some of the same questions and answers are on the final exam. That's it. My final thoughts about systems programming: wasn't too bad. I am very happy that it looks like I'm gonna get my A back. I'm very happy about that. What I liked about systems programming, the big thing was that I was able to actually start a project from scratch for each of the labs, minus week 3. That was a little different, but weeks 1, 2, and 4, I had to do everything from scratch, and I felt like that helped develop my programming skills a lot better than them just giving you the code, and then you kind of have to manipulate the code that they give you with the instructions that they give you. I just think that's all confusing, and it doesn't help me learn, and I know it doesn't help other people learn too. But that was like a big factor with this class, is getting to do my own projects for each of the labs and just follow the instructions and have a lot more freedom to do whatever I want with very minimal restrictions. And then I also liked that the instructor that does the lectures, and he also is in charge of the campus classes for this class, Jason Hinders, I liked that for each lecture he would not only post the lecture archive in the CPR Discord, but he would also post his lecture code. And also I liked that instead of clearing out the announcements channel, they don't clear it out. They leave it be. So you needed to look at past recordings from past months. You can. And I did that a lot because I didn't feel like waiting till Tuesdays or Thursdays to watch the lecture when I could just watch the lecture from last month. So I can just watch it, get ahead, and start the labs as soon as possible. And then the disadvantages with this class. My main critique with this class is that I wish that my instructor, and also he's the one in charge of the online sections for systems programming, Joseph Shekels, I wish he was the one teaching the lectures, at least for the online students, because every professor is different. And I feel like Mr. Hinders, he mainly focuses more on the campus students, and in the lectures he likes to demonstrate certain concepts on the whiteboard. And due to the fact that the lecture is done through Zoom for the online students, we can't really see that. I could barely see what was written on the whiteboard, and that just wasn't that helpful for me. And I would think I'm not the only one that would have that issue, and that's why I feel like Mr. Shekels should be the one teaching the online classes for the lectures. Overall, this class wasn't too bad, and now I get to look forward to a week off, spring break coming up next week, and then after spring break, I start my first project and portfolio class, and we'll just see what happens with that class. But thanks again for tuning into these videos, and I will see you in the next couple lab videos I have left for systems programming, and then on to project and portfolio 1. Bye.